How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, today we're going to be working on my 1990 Polaris Trail Boss for 250 bucks. We had some parts come in for her, and due to the weather here, I'm off work today, so I thought, man, what a prime time to get some work done on her. So let's check it out. So, today we are going to be putting on the new exhaust springs. If you guys remember from the last video, the springs that hold the expansion chamber together were, yeah, they're lock wire. I don't know what kind of wire, but it looks like lock wire. And the actual springs look like they're holding it up there. So that's got to go. So I got new springs for this. There's two more springs up there, right where it comes out of the cylinder head. And I don't know if there's two back there where the spark arrestor is. But we're going to take this whole exhaust system off today. And while it's off, we're going to paint it with some high heat paint because it's seen some better days. Yeah. And get the new springs on, and then hopefully we're going to get that back rack back onto here. I did get new vinyl to rewrap the seat because this tarp is just, I'm just tired of looking at it, to be honest with you. But I left it at work, unfortunately, so that'll be in the next video. But the old 200 ES, the 85 4-tracks I had, it's gone, sold. $500 I got for it. I had to drive it into town about half an hour away, but not a big deal. And yeah, it was about $250, $240 profit on that one. So it's not bad. All I basically did was turn around and put it back into ordered. Ooh, I'm waiting on a few more things, but front calipers mostly, because if you guys remember, it was missing the front calipers. And as well, I got the new master brake cylinder. So these aren't genuine Polaris ones, guys. I don't know if you recall from my old Honda video. Here's another one. I ordered another one of these. 22 bucks on Amazon. Love these. This is actually going on my 4-tracks. I'll update you guys in a second on that one. But this one is for the Polaris. Looks like a nice piece of kit. I'm hoping it fits because this one has a banjo bolt. This was made for a Polaris. It's a different model. And the one on the Polaris is basically just, well, that looks like a brake flex hose. I don't know if that's factory or what. Maybe someone over time just hodgepodge together a brake system, but this is set to replace that. So this wasn't too bad. I think it was about 45 bucks. I'll throw the link down in the description for it. But so far, that's what we got going on for her. Little update on the Honda. I really was hoping to get this done today, but those pistons I said I was waiting on in the last video, the ones down here for the drum that are completely seized, well, they got delivered, but they got delivered to my old house. That was my fault. I should have checked the shipping address when I bought it, but they got delivered to my old house on the other side of the country, 7,000 kilometers away. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that yet. It's not so much the money, it's the time it takes to get here. So that sets it back another week or two, and I was really hoping to ride this thing. But without further ado, let's get to working on this old gal. I'll set up the tripod, likely over here somewhere. But it's probably going to start with me just ripping the plastics off for now. And I'll catch back up with you guys once all of this is off. Just a note, this should all be in imperial, not metric. because Polaris is American. For the tidbit in the comments on the last video. Let's do it, guys. up, guys? So as you see, we got it torn apart, not very far, but enough to do what we got to do today. There wasn't a ton holding this on. I don't know how many of you have had older quads and whatnot, but over the years, things get taken apart, put back on, taken apart, put back on, and it seems like every time you do it, one or two bolts doesn't go back together, so I think I only removed probably about 6 bolts to get most of that stuff off. But without further ado, let's take a look. Whoops. Here's the exhaust. So it's actually a 3-piece exhaust. Let's see if I can get up front here and show you guys. There's a little piece that comes right off the cylinder head there. There's 2 springs keeping this U-pipe on, and then it just goes back to the one giant piece. Expansion chamber, silencer, all in one. For those of you who don't know, 2-strokes always, well, I should say always. Every 2-stroke I've seen has had some sort of expansion chamber. They won't look like a normal exhaust or like a 4-stroke where it's just a piece of pipe to a muffler. They'll always be a bit bigger. This will also have a bunch of baffles in it, and it basically helps the 2-stroke run. You'll hear people, you refer to the term, well, when it comes up on the pipe, that's, I'm no expert by any means, but it really comes down to resonance, I believe, sound resonance, or in this case, once it gets to a certain point, that pipe actually helps pull exhaust gases out of the engine. The baffles, the back pressure, I can look more into it, get you guys more info, because it's actually really cool. I've watched quite a few videos on it, but 2-strokes are a really, really cool piece of engineering. Very simple, not a lot to them. There's going to be no timing chains, valves, or anything fancy like that. Just to show you, there's the big expansion chamber on my dirt bike. It'll always have, it almost looks like a stomach to me. That's the best way I'd describe it. But yeah, it's used to help get the exhaust gases out of the engine. It basically pulls them. Anyways, back to what we were doing. We're going to get that apart. The reason you saw me take this front off is because, I don't know if you recall my last video, I mentioned the light had stopped working. I figured while I'm in here, I might as well take a look. And it turns out, I don't know if you guys saw in the time lapse, it's probably a bit quick. Let's see if I can get this in here for you. Look, you're going to see a little piece. It is just melted. So it's absolutely shot. The high beam and the low beam. So the low beam never worked. The high beam did, but it burnt out. So reading this, it seems to be, let's see if I can get this in focus here for you guys. Where is it? There it is. World Light H4 12 volt 100/80 watt. So that'd be high versus low. So it's an H4 bulb. I might run down to the store there before I gotta grab my daughter from school and see if I can't grab one of these from the local parts store. Whoops, now I need one for sure. But the great news is that it's going to be a really easy fix. And I was also thinking today, since this is all off and there's easy access to the battery, we might pull this old gal off, and I might rob the one out of the 4 tracks for now. After waiting on those parts, it's going to be longer. I'm going to be riding this, so it'd be nice to have electric start, especially out here in the cold. I don't know if you guys can see, there's gross snow, wet sleet out there, so trying to pull this thing over in the morning isn't always the most fun. And also, here's a closer look at the 2-stroke oil tank, because this is oil injected. This is what's under that cover there. I'm not too sure how the oil injection works on this bike. Some drip straight into the crank, some mix the fuel for you. But I do have a brand new carburetor coming. You guys can see the carb up there. Anyways, yep, I got a brand new carb coming because they were pretty cheap. They're like, again, it was like 45 bucks to do the carb on it, and I figure it's worth it for that price because every bike I've ended up changing the carb on, it makes it so much easier to start first pull, makes life real easy for you. So let's get to tearing this exhaust off and let's get it painted up. Oh, I don't know how hard this is going to be. I did just buy a brand new pair of side cutters, but do you think I can find them? Not for the life of me. Isn't that usually how it goes though, right? Oh, this is some tight stuff. Like I said, whoever did this, like, I mean, this is real janky stuff, but I'll give it to them. It did work, and it held up. It did leak, you know, you guys can see there. Some exhaust fumes, but really not bad. Not bad. You could have left it, and I'm sure it would have been fine. All right. These, not going to cut it. I'm going to need to find the big boys. Be right back. All right, a little more reinforcement here. Let's see if these will do the trick. Oh man, that's some seriously strong stuff. I'm wondering what it is actually, to be honest with you. Like, these are brand new. Oh, and it won't even touch it. Oh, there's one. We're gonna be here a while, guys. I wonder if I can cut this somehow. Oh, I think I got it, guys. I think I got this one at least. Oh, I'm not looking forward to picking these all out of here. One. You guys wouldn't believe how hard that was. That was nuts. And this one's covered in two-stroke, whatever you want to call it, juices. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna set up this tripod here. I'm gonna need to use both hands. I guess on my to buy list now for tools would be giant pair of side cutters. I don't have every tool, but I do have quite a few. And I've never encountered something like this. All right, well, now for the sake of you guys not watching me do this for 10 minutes, let's cut to me being done. All right, we're back. I get that wire off. I'm not going to disclose to you how long that took, but it was obnoxious. Now we're up to this. Turns out this is 1/2 inch. This is the only other bolt keeping this exhaust on. So you're like, whoa, that's great. Well, let's take it off. All right. Oh, man. Yep. Yeah, there's a head in there with nothing to grab onto. And it's just spinning. So that's good. So I'm going to have to figure this one out now. Find some way to stop that head from spinning, and we'll try that. Might have to wedge. So I was wrong. That's exactly what it's meant to do, I guess. So it actually just slid out of that groove, and it rotated out. So this should, I say should, but just come off. Oh, we got one more here, guys. It looks like there would have been a bolt on this at some point, but you see, spring. All right. I don't know if all of them are like this, guys. This, like I said, over a 30-some-odd year period, things change and people get pretty ingenuitive of what, how to make things work. So if you own a Trail Boss and you're here looking at this, this may not be how yours is set up, or maybe, who knows. Now this should come off. Ta-da! Cool. All right. Yeah, you'll never see in there, eh? But overall, it's in really good shape. It's not rusted out. I mean, it's a little rusty, don't get me wrong. But for a 30-year-old exhaust, they sure do a lot better than Dodge does. Shot at Dodge. All right, so we're going to get this other piece off here. There's some springs we got to detach, and then we'll go paint these up. We'll give them a clean first, obviously. And we got to get that stuff out. But let's get that little guy off. Hey guys, so I got everything off. I cleaned them up just with a wire brush. You know, just like a welding brush or something that you'd use with a flux core wire. It makes it super easy to break up any of the loose rust. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you could spend hours sanding this down, but the whole goal of this is basically just to add a bit more protection to it and to make it look a little bit better. We coat this, there's no reason it shouldn't stand up another 20 years. So I did wipe it down with degreaser too, just in some of the ends and the joints, just because the two-stroke oil and soot builds up pretty bad. But besides that, I didn't do a whole lot to it. I did spend quite a bit of time picking those little wires out. That was, I know I keep mentioning that, but wow, it took probably half an hour just to get all of those off. But anyways, this is what I'm using. It is just Tremclad high heat enamel, heat resistant for barbecues, fireplaces, wood stove, fast dry. It's good up till 1200 Fahrenheit. This will never ever reach any of those temps. So this was about $21. It's a little expensive here in Canada, especially being where I am and the local hardware store. But you can also get, VHT makes a header paint. It's essentially the same stuff. It comes in a few more colors, but it's about $10 more. And it's going to do the exact same thing. So if you find high heat paint, barbecue paint, and it's half the price of your header enamel, just use that. It's going to do the same thing, and it'll save you a few bucks. Because anything automotive with automotive labels on it, they're going to jack up the price. Anyways, let's shake this up I'm going to coat this side, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do the other side. And if you're wondering where we are, we're actually just under my deck. This is my wood storage room. The only reason I'm under here is because I don't want to spray it in the shop, and the weather's a bit intermittent outside, so you get to join me in my sweet paint booth. Let's do it. I'm sure you guys all know how to spray paint, but it's easier if you just do light coats and you don't hit it too heavy. If you hit it too heavy, you're going to get runs in it, which doesn't matter too much for something like this, but when it comes to, say, like, you're painting a set of plastics, it's going to make it look a little bit uglier. Already looks a million times better. This stuff does dry really quick. It won't take long. It'll probably be back. We'll be putting it back on the bike within the next hour. And then the heat from the exhaust will just really solidify it once we get it running. This and the new springs, it's going to look good. I mean, as good as an ugly exhaust can look. And this is just matte paint too. I'm not sure I mentioned that. It's not going to be shiny. Alright guys, here's the end result of the high heat paint on the exhaust. And I think it came out pretty darn good. She looks a whole lot better than she did. It's going to be protected now. And just testing out the new springs to make sure they were going to be the right size. And it looks like they're actually going to be perfect. These are actually off a old, sorry, get in focus there. Actually, newer Polaris Trail Boss, and I couldn't find the old ones, or I couldn't find the ones that were meant for this. So I took a chance on these. I think they're about $8. Came with 4, and yeah, they seem like they're gonna work all right. It doesn't sit in this orientation. It sits here. Let me see how I can get it here. More like that, I should say, on the bike. But once everything's tightened up, it should be pretty close. Not too bad. Fingers crossed these work. If not, we'll have to find something else, but I'm pretty hopeful on these that these are going to be just right. Even if we need to tweak the ends a bit. Better than it was before. Anyways. Let's get her back on the bike. Wait! I went to the store while I was driving, by the way. This is the bulb. It's about $9, but that'll give us a headlight back until we decide whether or not what we're going to do with this thing, whether we're selling it or we're going to put some LEDs on it, but, well, we might end up selling it. So if we do, then we'll probably leave it as stock, just try to maximize profits. But just going over this thing, I'm very happy with it. Here's a look under the seat. I was just looking at the air box. The air filter there, super easy to remove. 4 wing nuts, they pop off, and then there's like a snorkel here. That's just a pressure fit, super easy. And here's the carb, so it shouldn't be too hard to do. There it is. Just 2 clamps like most 2-strokes. There's no bolts. So that'd be really easy to change out. But overlooking the frame, this thing is in phenomenal condition for the year. I mean, it may look a bit dirty here, but like, this is all original paint. Like, it all cleans up. This is just dirt. This is all just dirt and grime. That might be a little rust, but very surface rust. Nothing bad at all. Very happy with this thing. Let's get those pipes back on. It shouldn't take too long. So let's cut to a time lapse of me struggling with that. We got the exhaust all back on. I was a little bit, well, I did say you were going to watch me struggle with it, so that's exactly what I did. But let's take a look. I think it looks pretty darn good. Whoop. Go, my bad. Here's the 2 new springs. There's one old spring. I just used that as the mount to keep it up. But I think those springs were the absolute perfect size. There's still tension under them. You can see, it's keeping it together. But not too much, you know? It's going to be room to expand, which is wicked. We got the one underneath on. And then we got this top bolt on. So that's wicked. She is solid. She's not going anywhere. I didn't get a close-up of these ones. They were extremely hard to do. And that exhaust angle kind of worries me a bit. I'll show you now what I'm talking about. But just how tilted over it is compared to the other side. It's a little bit, I'm going to start it up. I don't think there's going to be any exhaust leaks. That might just be how it is. But the exhaust is back on. That's great news. It looks good. Truthfully, if you guys were going to do this and you dedicated a solid probably, I'd say 2.5 hours start to finish, and that's from like driving your quad in to driving it out. If you had 2 hours, you could get it done. It's not a hard or difficult thing to do. You just need a couple hours to do it. And it's a good improvement to your quad. So I'm going to start putting the plastics back on. I'm going to get that new headlight bulb in, which actually I'll show you guys because it's a cool clip. And then hopefully I can drive this out of here tonight with a headlight. Let's do it! What's up, guys? So I thought I'd show you the headlight install on this because it's not as straightforward as some are. It's got a pretty confusing little clip. Maybe it's just me, but I'm going to go ahead and show you anyway. So, like I showed you before, the headlight was shot on this. Burnt out both high and low. And I think I gave you the part number on this one. But rule number 1 of halogen bulbs: never touch the glass. The oils on your fingers can prematurely burn them out. So I'm going to try to show you, I don't know if you can see. You have to orient it in a certain direction. And it'll just, it's like a pressure fit almost. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the real weird one is this little clip. This little clip is a tough one to get. So Let me orient this in a way. This side right here hooks on to what would be, if you're looking at it from here, the right side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to push down, and then, I don't know if you guys see here, I don't know if you guys can see the locking mechanism in there. There's a little, right down there, the little tip clips into place. So take a look at that orientation, pause it if you guys are changing your light bulb and you can't figure it out. But there you go. New light bulb in, hopefully we got high and low. Let's get the plastics back on. Alright guys, she's all back together. You saw not too many things holding all this together right now. I know normally I would put a bolt in every hole, but I know she's going to be apart soon to do the carb, the seat, and finally the battery today. It's still sitting here, but I got to do it. I do have to do it because I want it on there. It's useful. But that'll probably come next in the video. I guess let's start it up and see if she'll back out of here and see if our headlight works. Exhaust is looking good. Solid day's work. It's looking clean. Should hold up for a while. Let's cut to me backing it out of here and hopefully get some light. We'll see. I'm hoping that was the problem. Because it's pitch black outside. We're going to find out pretty quick. Let's do it, guys. Get a key, I guess. Boop. Let's see if she plays ball. Choke on. Great news, guys. I'm gonna go put her away in the other shed now, but it's all day's work. Everything went to plan, no problems, and oh, I forgot to even tell you, I disappeared today, and I got something else on the trailer waiting for you guys. Wait for me too. Super excited. I'm not going to show you right now. I want to get this wrapped up. I'm going to update you guys on the snowmobile still. Parts for this should be in shortly. You know, Amazon. Sometimes it's a couple days, sometimes it's not. But we got to get the brakes done, seat done, the back rack. And I think that's about it, to be honest with you guys. I think after that, I'm either going to use it or I'm going to sell it. I'm going to fill all the bolts that aren't there because there's quite a few. But besides that, it's a great little machine. Oh, I forgot the carb. I'm going to do the carb too. After that, I mean, it's going to be a wicked little bike for under $500, and I'd probably get $1,500 for it. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.